Kia ora, everyone. In this unit standard, you're asked to talk about some common threats to your data and your ability to work at school, coming from viruses, power failure, unauthorized access, and natural disasters. And then you're asked what we as an organization, that's you and me and the rest of the school, can do about it. I've already made another video about viruses, so I'll only run over those very briefly, and I'll go through each one in turn and say what it is we can do about it. So viruses, as you know, programs that get onto your computer, they can corrupt your data, delete it, encrypt it and demand a ransom, or they can share your data with a criminal, they can steal it and send it out. They can take over your computer to run their own purposes, such as distributing viruses or scams, sending emails, which will slow your computer down and cause it to crash, which means you can lose what you're working on. What can we do about this? Well, if you look in the IHS security policy document here, that's in the preparation area of this assessment, you'll find that we have some stuff that we do about viruses. The school has a free subscription to Norton Antivirus, run the semantic virus checker. We also have a virus checker on our email system. We've set up all of our browsers and Chrome on the computers and so on to warn you if they're trying to run any kind of script so that you can't accidentally run a virus. And in fact, we now access the internet through a managed network from the Network for Learning. That's actually our broadband connection to the internet. And they actually have a firewall on that that blocks various sites and so on. On top of this, students are required to visit only appropriate websites and never deliberately install viruses or malware on computers. So to move on, power failure is obviously a problem because the computers will all turn off if we lose power at school, if we have a power cut. This will cause you to lose any work that you're currently working on if it isn't saved. That's why we have student expectations to make sure that you always check where you save your work, give it a suitable name, save your work before you start work on it, and press save every 5 minutes. Of course, if you're using Google Drive, Google Docs or Sheets, that will save automatically all the time, which is one of the reasons that we use Google Drive. Incidentally, power failure will also knock out our server, which we have in my office. In order to deal with this, we actually have the server protected by a UPS, that's an uninterruptible power supply, basically a big battery that stores up to a couple of hours worth of power. So if we have a brief power cut, at least the server itself won't go down, which means that as soon as the power's back up, you can boot up a computer again and start using the computers again. Unauthorized access is when someone who isn't supposed to have access to certain files gets access to them. For example, if someone hacks your account, if someone else gets your password or gets a teacher's password. The problem this could cause, obviously, is that the person with unauthorized access could do something malicious. They could delete your work, move it, rename it. They could also steal personal information. They could look at your personal communication, your emails and things that you've sent to other people and send them around. They could reveal secrets about you. And they could destroy or damage any of your work. They'd be completely at liberty to do that. To stop this from happening, we have various sets of security. We have a whole lot of different password systems. Each have a unique logon and password set on the server. You have different passwords for your Google accounts. We reset these passwords at least once a year. And there's a minimum length of password and complexity of password that you're allowed. We also say that you have to keep your login information and passwords secret. Really quickly then, the last one, a natural disaster. The most common we'd have here would be an earthquake. The big danger of an earthquake would be that it could actually cause us to have to evacuate buildings, including the server room, and it could cause stuff to physically fall down and break the computers or the servers. That's why our server has two 2-terabyte hard drives that we can constantly remove, and we take home each night, and they can be removed from the premises to back up data. On top of this, students and teachers are expected to back up their work either on the cloud, so Google Drive, or on a USB stick. And that should be sufficient to protect from most natural disasters. Thanks very much.